Welcome back to Realtor Talk. With me are Preston and Susan from Changing Seasons Home and Garden, and we'd like to talk a little bit now about low maintenance landscaping. Everyone is busy, and some homeowners don't think that they have time to take care of their yard. What ideas do you have for them?
Well, the first thing that homeowners can do in planning their yard and making it low maintenance, obviously edging the flower beds helps, which we've talked about. Weed barriers will help reduce weeds. There's also barks. The shredded bark actually naturally helps keep the weeds down. And there's also products like Preen and Casseron, which are granule pre-emergents that will basically, if applied to a flower bed, they won't harm your existing plants, but they will prevent any plants that haven't germinated and come up through the soil yet from emerging, so thus reducing the amount of weeding and things like that that the flower beds take, also helping keep the yard looking good for that first time impression. And then there's also adding annual color and things like that that will help, that are really easy, low maintenance ways to make your yard look good. And Susan can explain some of those ideas.
Yes. One of the projects that we've worked on this spring is called pot and pot planting. Preston has a pot over here. This works in any kind of a flower bed, but it's particularly nice in those that have the hard landscaping, such as the rocks. It's not very fun to push away those rocks and dig down into the dirt and the weed barrier to try and plant flowers. So we like to take a pot like this, and we put it into the ground. And you want it to be ground level right with this lip on this pot. And then you take your flowers, go shop early. Now this one we started like about March, and so it has pansies and such in it, and then of course the petunias. Well, this stays in the ground always, always. And so you're then able to just put this pot right inside, and it snugs right up, and the flowers kind of trail out, and you don't see this hidden pot that is your time saver, because it takes hours to dig those holes to plant flowers, and it's just done. And it makes it a joy for gardening. And so you could even do different seasons if you want. Like I say, in the springtime you could do just pansies, because they can take all of the cold and all of the snow and those kind of chilly springs that we have, and you still have color in your yard. And we really like this concept.
That is a great idea, because as cold as it's been this spring, petunias right now are still looking kind of wimpy if you just put them in the ground.
They are.
So.
And the nice thing is also that if we have a night or two like we did this spring where it got really, really cold, you don't have to be running around trying to cover up plants. You just go out to the yard, take them out of the little holding pot, and bring them into your garage, and they're safe. And you can keep them in there for a couple of days. They'll be fine. And then when it warms back up, just replace them.
That is a great concept.
They are really good season extenders, both in the spring and the fall, because like you said, you can pop them out of the ground on a night that's going to get below that freezing mark, and they work good in the fall too. Mm-hmm. And they really are just as easy to pop out as that, and they're not too heavy. We can actually start these really early in the spring, and they're actually pretty reasonably priced.
Oh, they are. They are.
So anyway, these would be great, and we can provide these additional pots with these plantables and things at the garden center.
One thing I thought was great at your garden center is that you said that if somebody comes in and buys flowers from you, you will actually plant their hanging baskets or pots for them. And I thought that's nice, because some people don't know exactly how to do it so that it looks great and will last all season.
Well,
so,
it's not everyone's passion, but it is ours. So yeah, come and choose your colors and let us help put it together, and you just enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know. Susan can come into the greenhouse and work 8 hours a day, 4 or 5 days a week, and then goes home to her rather large yard and does the same thing. She's very, very knowledgeable and very passionate about gardening. So
it's great, and a little pop of color really does help your home look better. I think, you know, it just livens it up. And
well, and to drive up and pull into your driveway and see that color, it just makes you feel proud and glad to be home.
We also have some really beautiful hanging basket that Susan's planted and designed that I think are going to be, you know, they're just not the normal traditional ones. I mean, they're just really unique and beautiful, trailing hanging baskets, and they can, whether on a shepherd hook or hanging from a front porch, they can really be a beautiful focal point in a yard.
That makes sense. How about renewing your yard? Since a lot of our homes that we have in town have had yards that have lived for a long time and they seem to need some help, what can we do without having to totally redo everything in your yard?
Well, you do. You kind of redo and renew, but it doesn't always have to be really intense, or I can't think of the word that I want to use. What's the word? Where it's just awful, but you can sometimes just trim up shrubs. And I had one under my front window. I've lived in my home for 30 plus years, and we planted these shrubs. In fact, I planted shrubs twice. And I thought, I don't want to pull this out again. So I just brought out my little shears and changed it from a shrub to a bonsai tree, and I just, kind of trim it up a little bit every spring, and it's just fun, and it gave a whole new look, kind of like what they're doing nowadays. So don't always think you just have to become very intrusive. Become just a little more creative, and if you have some questions, come in. We'll bring in a picture of your home, and we'll help you brainstorm.
That's a great idea. I would like us to talk a little bit about working with a landscaper and what you do with your ideas and meshing their ideas to actually make a look if somebody wanted to redo their yard.
Well, a landscaper should be giving a homeowner different options. The key to landscaping, obviously, though, is we want it to look like your home and your personality, not necessarily what we like to do. Typically, a landscaper will come out to anyone's home and give free estimates. Basically, your ideas combined with our expertise should enable you to put together a very appealing landscape at an affordable price. And like Susan said, it doesn't have to be a total remodel all the time. Typically, it can be trimming or removing some overgrown shrubs. It can be adding a new tree to soften a corner. Simple updates for your home can bring it from that 1972 landscape up into the 2010 year and make it look very modern.
That's great. Thanks for watching Realtor Talk with us. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk about maintenance and how we can take care of these yards we've worked on.
For years, you dreamed of a home with a view. Yet now, you're gazing upon something even more precious. If you're ready, the time to buy is now. Affordability has improved and interest rates are low. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that homeownership is an investment in your future. To learn more about your local market, talk to a realtor and visit housingmarketfacts.com. Every market's different. Call a realtor today.